Hey guys, this is Vorlon. I'm about to commentate on a Dawn of War Soulstorm 2 vs 2 game. This is a team game and we've got an Imperial Guard player allied with a Tower player, and we're on the map Saint Square for this. And their opponents are an Eldar player, as you can see here, and a Space Marine player. So with that in mind, the players' names, I won't go into them, I'll just bring them up on screen, but it's the Eldar and Space Marines up against the Imperial Guard and Tau. Now the map is Saint Square, not one that I've tried out too much, but I do like this map because it's got a number of different paths of different ways of getting to your opponent, and it's quite compact. There are sort of elevated areas in the middle where the critical objectives are, and there are also some thermoplasma generators on the map. But I'm going to have to try and keep up with the action pretty quick, because in a 2 vs 2 in Dawn of War, there tends to be a lot of this different stuff to focus on, and I'm probably not going to be able to cover everything, but I'll be doing my best. Anyway, we've got the Space Marine player headed over to the north, taking a strategic point which is between his base and the base of the Tau. And as you can see, I'm looking from the Imperial Guard perspective here. Looks like we've got some Imperial Guardsmen sent out to deal with the Eldar. The Eldar have built some ranges right off the start. We're looking at the southern point here, the strategic point between the base of the Eldar and the Imperial Guard. And the Imperial Guard Guardsman squad there has already been broken by the Rangers, and we're switching back to the Space Marines versus Tau. Basically, the game is splitting off into two separate one-on-one matches, effectively, in the north and the south, between, on one hand, the Space Marines and the Tau, and on the other hand, the Eldar and the Imperial Guard. And then maybe later in the game we'll see some meeting up between the two sides into some larger, more epic battles. But for now, it looks like the Imperial Guard have won the contest here for this point. They are capturing it, and for now the Eldar are forced back by the courageous Imperial Guard HQ unit here, the commander with a priest. But the Eldar have got some Dark Reapers out, and they're actually sending in some Guardians over to the north to assist the Space Marines, by the looks, in their little miniature battle up against the Tau. The Tau seem to have been doing a pretty good job defending them off as well. And we've got a group of Vestments inside of the Space Marine base, already getting to work on the servitors, trying to harass the Space Marine economy as much as possible. In the meantime, the Imperial Guard getting stuck into these Eldar. Unfortunately, the Eldar haven't got any invisibility going through those ranges, and the Dark Reapers, though, are able to help fend things off. Space Marines having a look at their base. Looks like they've dealt with the Tower for the meantime, but the Tower are still looking to be in an aggressive position. At this point, we've actually got the Tower sending a contingent of Vestments right down to the south here to the Eldar base, so looks like both sets of allies are putting pressure on the Eldar base at this point, just to try and attack where they feel the enemy is weakest. But the Vestments weren't able to get a seriously good attack off here, so they're instead relocating and fighting with these Space Marine scouts, trying to capture the relic. It looks like they're going to be successful in doing that as well. Now, the Space Marine player seems to be building up a large amount of tactical squads. It looks like the plan here for the Space Marines is not to attack up too quickly, because he's spending a lot on Overwatch, on reinforcing the squads. You can see he's got a force commander in the middle of it as well, making sure that they are going to be safe against any kind of rush here. And here come the Vestments, so it looks like the Space Marine player is in a decent position to actually defend against these Vestments. He's got all the Marines in range. Taking a look at the north here, this point here between the two bases, the Tau are securing that. So I think in terms of map control, the Tau and Imperial Guard side is just doing marginally better. But we'll see how that works out going into the mid game, when forces start getting built up and there start to be some serious engagements. So we'll have to watch out for that. The Tau, fortunately, have the advantage of these invisible capping units, the stealth suits, and also the Imperial Guard is being a little bit courageous, going to the center of the map, capturing points there. Fortunately, they've been uncontested as far as that's concerned. It looks like the tactical squad here has just been trapped by the snare trap there from the Tau. That's totally slowed down the movement. And in the center of the map, we've actually got a command squad, the Imperial Guard squad. Command squad really getting to work on these Guardians here, and finally we've got some reinforcements showing up to deal with them. But this squad, this HQ squad here from the Imperial Guard, is very, very tough unit, very effective too, so it's always crucial for the Imperial Guard to make the most use of it. But the Eldar are out in force, and unfortunately for them, unfortunately for the Imperial Guard, their HQ unit's been sent packing for now. But looking to the north, the Space Marines have actually gotten rid of that point right at the 12 o'clock point, and they're actually pushing towards the Tau base, so looks like they're going to be able to put their large numbers of tactical Marines to use at this point. But in the meantime, the Vespers are actually harassing this listening post. It hasn't been upgraded, and all of the Space Marines are not at home at the moment. They're over here at the 9 o'clock, actually starting to get to work on the Tau base, so the Tau are looking to be on the defensive at this point. Despite the fact that they are, on the other hand, on the offensive if you consider just the Vesper squad. But looking down south, we've got the Imperial Guard still contesting this point. The Eldar are trying to retake it, but the Guardsmen there are just ripping into those Guardians with their last guns. And finally, we've got the Eldar main force linking up with the Space Marines, and everybody's going straight for the 3 o'clock here. So this Tau base is going to be under a lot of pressure. We've got a squad. This is the combat squad for the Tau actually being produced here and getting ready to defend. And the Imperial Guard are not helping out their allies here. They're sticking around in their base. The Tau are retreating to the most western point of the map, right at the 9 o'clock corner. And the Imperial Guard seem to be taking up at this point, not assisting their allies. So the team opposing them, the Space Marines, the Eldar, look to be gaining some ground on this. So yeah, looking back to the Imperial Guard base, we've got plenty of plasma generators, we've got some upgraded points, so he's definitely getting an economic boom from that. And look at this, we've got a mechanized command already, so this appears to be the plan here. The Tau player is basically just in defense mode, while the Imperial Guard just waits, and hopefully the clock ticks down to the point where he gets Hellhounds or Sentinels. Some really good tier 2 stuff which can actually overrun the enemy. But on the other hand, the Space Marines have built up a lot of tactical Marines here. We're even putting a heavy bolter turret right down in the center of the Tau base. So Tau look to be in a lot of trouble here, but the Tau have sent their forces over, conversely, to attack the Space Marine base. In the meantime, look at the plan here for the Space Marines is to for the Eldar, sorry, is to tech up to a support portal slightly behind the Imperial Guard field. They're not going to be as quick with the vehicles, and also the quality of Imperial Guard vehicles, if you take into account Hellhounds, tends to be a bit more dangerous in a situation like this, I feel. But it could come down to a base trade-off here, because the Space Marines are really ripping into the Tau base here. The Tau is losing its barracks, and wow, a Hellhound has been produced, so the Hellhound is now able to head over to the 3 o'clock position, more like the 10 o'clock position, to actually protect his ally, the Tau, against these large numbers of tactical Marines. And bear in mind, the Space Marine player has not teched up, and his own base is under assault at this point. So the Space Marines really will be in a very bad way if they can't get rid of this Tau base here. And this Hellhound is flaming everything in sight. The Space Marines, unfortunately, despite their large numbers of men, don't have any anti-vehicles. And the Eldar look to be embroiled in combat over near the Space Marine base, trying to keep the Space